Indonesian police have formally charged 3 Australian men with premeditated murder, a crime that carries the death penalty, in connection to a chilling execution-style shooting in Bali that left 1 man dead and another gravely wounded. Under tight security and flashing cameras, the suspects, Tupou Pasa Midolmore, 37, Coskun Mevlut, 23, and Darcy Francesco Jenson, 37, were paraded before the media Thursday night in Badung. Shackled in handcuffs, dressed in bright orange prison uniforms, and masked in black balaclavas, the trio stood silent as police revealed details of the deadly ambush that has stunned both nations. Their bright orange prison shirts read Sat Takti, meaning Detention and Evidence Unit, and identified them as detainees of Indonesia's notorious detention division, famous for imprisoning foreign and high-profile offenders. From drug smugglers to international fugitives, Sat Takti is where high-profile criminals are locked up and put on display. And now these 3 men stood at the center of it all, exposed and disgraced before the eyes of the world. Heavy chains clinked with every step as they were let in, their eyes scanning the room filled with flashing lights and silent judgment. There were no shoes, no words, only the sound of metal dragging across the floor. Their entrance was slow, deliberate as if it was meant to send a message. This was more than a media briefing. It was a display of power, of law catching up to those who thought they could outrun it. A warning to anyone watching, thinking they were untouchable. Once all 3 men were positioned with their backs to the cameras, officers began outlining the case. They presented key pieces of evidence, including the murder weapon, bullet casings, face masks, and a sledgehammer believed to have been used in the attack. The display was carefully arranged for the media, turning the press conference into a chilling showcase of the violence behind the crime. The shooting is suspected to be tied to ongoing tensions within Melbourne's Middle Eastern organised crime scene, with possible links to the illicit tobacco wars, and underworld figures such as Kazem Kasamad, and deceased ex-Mongol Sam Abdul Rahim. After a tense 5-day manhunt, the 3 Australians were arrested and brought back to Bali. And Bali police allege that the killing appeared to be well organised, with one suspect arriving in Bali as early as April. Zivan Radmanovic, 35, was shot and killed shortly after midnight on June 14 in Munggu, southern Bali. While Sanar Ghanim, 34, was also shot but survived, later discharged from hospital with a heavily bandaged leg. Radmanovic was shot in the bathroom of his room, where police found 18 bullet casings and 2 intact bullets. His partner, Jasmine Gordias, 30, told police that she suddenly woke up when she heard her husband screaming. She hid under a blanket when she heard multiple gunshots and later found her husband's body and injured Ghanim, whose wife also testified to seeing the attackers. Both women are sisters. Back at the press conference, Indonesian police laid out how the attack was planned and carried out, explaining the sequence of events and the specific role each suspect played. Jenson is accused of booking the villa where the shooting took place, supplying equipment including the sledgehammer, and providing transportation. He also rented 2 vehicles, bought ferry tickets, and collected the alleged gunmen from East Java to assist in their escape. CCTV reportedly shows him renting the vehicles and purchasing the hammer used to force entry. He bought the hammer from Sanar Harapan hardware store, and also booked the Villa Casa 1, where he has been captured on CCTV. Police claim Coskun and Tupou were the ones who carried out the shooting, and are now called as the alleged executioners, or algojo, in the local language, the ones who carried out the direct assault. Tupou is also accused of buying the firearm and helping dispose of the motorbike and other evidence. When he was brought into the press conference in shackles, number 676 tattooed on his leg was clearly visible, the international dial code for Tonga, a symbol often linked to Tongan pride and identity. Inside the villa, forensic teams recovered a significant amount of ballistic material, including bullet fragments, casings, and shards scattered across multiple rooms. Police say the sledgehammer was used to break into the villa before shots were fired in 2 separate rooms. 2 black motorbikes, gloves, balaclavas, and 2 white Toyota Fortuners believed to be used in the crime were seized. Jenson rented the vehicles using his own passport. A handgun, 2 loaded magazines, an empty magazine, a black backpack marked athlete, live rounds, and a purchase receipt for a hammer were also recovered in a rice field 700 meters from the crime scene. CCTV footage from several locations were collected. Authorities allege the suspects split up after the shooting and left Bali using separate ferry routes, later regrouping in East Java and traveling to Jakarta by bus. Jenson was arrested at Jakarta's at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport by alerted airport police. Coskun and Tupou had already flown to Phnom Penh in Cambodia, but were later returned to Indonesia with the help of Interpol. The suspects have been charged under Article 340 of Indonesia's Criminal Code, which covers premeditated murder. This is one of the most serious offenses under Indonesian law and carries the maximum punishment, which is the death penalty. They also face charges for illegal firearm possession under Indonesia's Emergency Law No. 12 of 1951, which allows for severe penalties, including life in prison or execution in extreme cases. If convicted, they won't just be facing years behind bars. They could be lined up in front of a firing squad, the method Indonesia uses to carry out capital punishment, reserved for the most serious and unforgivable crimes. Police say the investigation is still ongoing as they continue working to uncover the full extent of the alleged plot and identify the mastermind behind it. Authorities believe more individuals may have been involved, possibly orchestrating the attack from behind the scenes or even from overseas. Investigators are now combing through surveillance footage, phone records, and witness statements in an effort to trace the source of the planning and financing. Meanwhile, the body of slain victim Radmanovic has been returned to Australia, where his grieving family is preparing for his funeral. The motive for the killing remains unclear, though police have not ruled out links to organized crime, personal feuds, or gang-related tensions that may have crossed international lines. Police have not disclosed how the suspects allegedly obtained the firearm used in the attack. Guns are tightly controlled in Indonesia, with strict laws that make it nearly impossible for civilians to legally possess them. The illegal possession or use of firearms is treated as a serious threat to public safety and can carry extremely harsh penalties, especially when tied to violent crimes. Indonesian police have confirmed they are working closely with the Australian Federal Police as the investigation into what is now being called the Bali 3 continues. The case has drawn intense attention due to its international links and the possibility of capital punishment. In the past, at least 6 Australians have previously faced the death penalty there. 2 of them, Andrew Chan and Myuran Sukumaran of the Bali 9, were executed by firing squad in 2015. With the Bali 3 now facing similar grave charges, the Australian government is expected to step in diplomatically to plead for their lives and urge Indonesian authorities to avoid the use of the death penalty. This case highlights the troubling reality of how young men, often caught up in the promise of fast money or influenced by criminal networks, can find themselves entangled in serious crimes with life-altering consequences. Whether driven by desperation, pressure, or the illusion of a quick escape from hardship, their choices can lead them down a path of violence, prison, or even death. It serves as a stark reminder of how easily lives can be derailed and how organized crime bosses continue to exploit the vulnerable. If you're looking for more exciting and eye-catching regular bikie and organized crime updates, don't hesitate, smash that subscribe button, spread the word rapidly, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments section, and for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks to show some love. It goes a long way in keeping us motivated and the channel thriving, as most of the videos on this channel are not monetized due to its crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome and take care. Wu-Tang.